Hey YouTubers, welcome to another edition of Near Mint Condition, Unboxing Edition, Gaming Edition, where today I have declared October Retro Collection Month because all the games that I bought, I didn't buy anything new. Well, I might have bought one or two new games. I did buy that big Call of Duty. Well, not the big duty, because the big duty was $200 and it came with night vision goggles, and we're going to talk about that in an upcoming episode. How much money would you actually spend on a video game? $200, this is a bit too much. Anyway, other than Call of Duty, I mainly stuck with retro games this month. So I've looked at my back catalog of some games from some older systems that I'm missing, and I decided, like, you know what? Let's fill some gas, because the price on these games are super cheap. A lot of these games are $5 and $10, so I might as well go ahead and jump in. So let's go ahead and get started. So I will break the rules a little bit and start with this game right here. This is Ninja Saviors, Return of the Ninja Warriors. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of Ninja Warriors on the Super Nintendo. I actually have a couple copies of it because I lost my first one. But this just came out on Nintendo Switch. It's the game, and it's slightly remixed, slightly better graphics, slightly better music, and a couple extra modes. It's fantastic. It plays perfect, just like what I remember from my childhood. It's not based on the arcade version. It's based on the Super Nintendo version, which in my humble opinion was the better of the two. So, Ninja Saviors. This still counts as a retro game, even though it came out the other day. Okay. Alright, let's get started. Let's actually go with, we'll do the oldest first. So, my brother came through, and occasionally he comes across old relics. This is Abe's Odyssey Oddworld. This is a lot of fun, and somehow I did not have this game in my collection. I think this has been in a near limited run edition a couple times. So I'm glad that this, like, you know, he found this thing. I think there's a disc in here. Oh, good. There's a disc in here. Thanks, bruh. He found this. It actually might be my original copy when I was a kid and gave to him. We'll see. But anyway, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. This is a fun, super cool game, and you should check out the new ones on Limited Run if you have not already. Let's go a little bit newer, but not much newer. Doom 64. So, Doom 64 is kind of really cool. Back in the day, when these games came out, Doom was on every system. You weren't a console unless you had a version of Doom on. That's actually still true to this day. So Doom was on the N64. This version of Doom actually is probably the best. It uses actual 3D graphics rather than the pseudo 2D graphics from the previous editions. So I've been looking for this for a long time, and I finally found it for about 20 bucks. The sticker on the back is wrong, because I saw it years ago in Pittsburgh and meant to buy it, and I did not, and regretted it ever since. So now we have Doom 64. So I'm super chill, super thrilled about that. This is also, if you pre-order Doom Armageddon, or whatever the Lewis one's called, Doom Eternal, if you pre-order that, you get Doom 64. So maybe people saw that and were like, I'm gonna get rid of my old cartridge, to which I say, thank you, I appreciate that. Now, let's get a little bit newer in our collections. Let's go for some Dreamcast games. I bought a ton of Dreamcast games, because again, I think GameStop's having sale, they were like $5 off, so I kind of went crazy. I'm going to talk about 18-wheeler. Okay, so I'm a little annoyed with GameStop, because in fact they advertise, oh yeah, they say in the small print some of these games don't have boxes, but that's not what the picture shows. So me not reading the small print, a lot of these games did not come with boxes. They did not come with jewel cases. I bought this jewel case myself, or I had a stack of jewel cases in my library. But anyway, GameStop, like, make sure your pictures are just the game rather than the box. And their solution was, oh well, you can return it. Thanks, guys. But I did get the game for $5. So 18-wheeler was a lot of fun on the Dreamcast. You take control of a big old truck and you drive across the country. There's some rival dudes. They were trying to smash you. It was a lot of fun. And I've played it in the arcade, and I've played it on the Dreamcast before, but I never actually owned the thing. So this is cool. And any of you guys out on the internet have any solutions for printing cover art and back art in a typical CD jewel case, I would love to know what that solution is, because I have a pretty decent printer and like to take advantage of it. And I know people that work at a printing company, so that would be nice too. So 18-wheeler, a lot of fun. Check it out. I'm also a big, huge fan of Daytona. Okay, I'm not gonna sing the whole thing. I actually met the guy who did the soundtrack. He's a really fun guy. So this is Daytona on the Dreamcast. Daytona on the Sega Saturn when it debuted was a pretty daggone good port of the arcade game. The arcade game was 2, 4, and 8 players simultaneously. It's a glorious thing to walk to an arcade and see 8 Daytona USA stuck together. Really addicting soundtrack, lots of fun gameplay, the 3 tracks, 2 cars, manual or automatic transmission. Like the very definition of a 90s Sega racer, 90s racer. Sega started all this. So the Sega Saturn version of this game was a pretty daggone good port, and later on Sega did another, I think it was Daytona USA Champion Edition, that was even better once they figured out how to effectively develop and manage the hardware on the Sega Saturn, because it was 2 S2 processors, and it was a little obscure how to get those things to work in tandem to do good performance. Then we have this version of Daytona. And this one is actually pretty daggone good because we're on the Dreamcast, the hardware is far superior, so the graphics and frame rate and everything is right up to par. The music isn't exactly what I recalled and what I remember what I loved as a child, but it's close enough, and more importantly, the game plays really well, and there's extra modes and cars and things like that and tracks. So again, this was super cheap, so I could not say no to it. Daytona USA. And another one that I played a heck of, and I didn't realize I didn't own it until actually I was looking at the sale, is Ready to Rumble Boxing. This is I think this is a launch game for the Dreamcast, and it's a lot of fun. It's very over the top, kind of like Super Punch-Out, but in 3D, and it was a ton of fun. Lots of cool characters, crazy music and antics. It was just a really fun game, and unfortunately, I passed on it. I don't know why, or maybe I had it and didn't have it, I don't know. Not sure, but for a couple of bucks, I decided to officially add it to the collection. Again, you guys want to help me out with cover art and CD art, I'd appreciate that. So, Ready to Rumble Boxing, super cheap. Now, while I was on this GameStop kick of getting Dreamcast games, I'm missing a couple other things too. I might as well, venture out. So, to the eBays, and to the Amazons, and to the pawn shops. This one I found at a local pawn shop. This is Virtual On. Let's see if I can get the right name. Cyber Troopers, Virtual On, Oratorio Tangram. Yes, that's what this is. And when you go to a pawn shop, these games are actually complete. So thanks, guys, in local pawn shops. This is a fantastic dual joystick game. You control 2 robots, big giant robots. Normally giant robots are kind of dumb, but in this case, these giant robots are awesome. This game in the arcade ran on the Naomi hardware. Actually, a lot of these are Dreamcast games ran on the Naomi hardware. It used 2 sticks, which I think I have. Sure do. This is the Saturn dual stick controller. I picked this up in Japan for a cool 25 bucks. Look at that. It's all digital and clicky and wonderful. This is actually for the Saturn, but I have a Saturn to Dreamcast adapter, so it works just fine. Anyway, so Virtual On, really cool game, really fun. And what's the other thing that really hipped me up to getting all these Dreamcast games is I've been really jumping into arcade hardware, and I was looking at the Sega Naomi, which, obviously I'm attached to that name, but it had some really great arcade games back in the day, and Virtual On was one of these games. It's well, maybe I can get Virtual On for the Dreamcast, because the hardware is identical, other than there is a disk drive for loading, but not exactly. So there's more memory. I think there's double the memory, 4 times the audio memory on a Sega Naomi arcade hardware than a Sega Dreamcast. So that got me, I'm looking at some of these games, man, these things ran perfect on the Dreamcast. I'll pick this up. So Virtual On was one of those games I wanted to pick up. And there is a new Virtual On coming out for the PS4 that includes the 3 and there was a Kickstarter for a giant, huge dual stick controller that I wish I'd backed, but it was hundreds of dollars. And once again, how much money am I willing to devote to this stuff? Sometimes a lot more than I probably should admit. Maybe I'll get it later. Another game, arcade game that I absolutely love, that is Sega Naomi hardware. It actually had 2 or 3 Naomi pieces. One to control the communications, one that control the graphics and driving and physics and stuff. Was Ferrari F355 Challenge, and this runs. You don't need multiple Dreamcasts to run this. Although if you had multiple Dreamcasts, you can link them together, I believe. Someone in the comments can correct me on that. But this is a fantastic driving game. Again, one of these 90s racers. It's beautiful. control one of several Ferraris. Lots of cool courses, lots of additions and customizations you can make. I mean, this is so much fun. So much fun. I've been wanting this game for a while, and this is probably the game that kicked me off trying to get a whole bunch of Dreamcast games and getting into Naomi arcade hardware and the rabbit hole. So, like, man, I saw I think at Monkey Joe's, my kid was playing a Cruisin' Blast or whatever, and they had an F355 challenge there. And last time we were there, it was gone. I was like, man, I really want to play F355 challenge. I had some tickets, and that is what started this. So, thanks, Monkey Joe, or maybe it was Monkey Jane. And lastly, Quake 3 Arena. Now, this is one of those things where the sins of the father resonate, where I totally burned a copy of Quake 3, because back in the day, if you had a Dreamcast and a version of Quake 3, you could play with PC players. So I may have found a burned copy of Quake 3, played with some of my mates at work, and we played the heck out of this game because it was compatible. It was really cool. I thought, you know what? I'm an adult. I should probably go ahead and buy a legit version of this. And it was like $3. So there's no excuse. So, Quake 3 Arena. Now, this is all the Dreamcast games that I have. And these have all been a lot of fun. Oh, and just to talk about the quality of this port, it's a fantastic port. Runs at consistent 30 frames a second, has all the courses, and like I said, it actually can network with, I think, the 0.11 or 1.116 version of the PC version of Quake 3. It's really cool. It's amazing to have a Dreamcast playing with PC people back in the day at good fidelity using controller. Or you can use the Dreamcast keyboard and mouse too, so that was really fun too. So, that's the last of the Dreamcast games that I have today, which I'm going to transition now to the Xbox. Talking about Quake 3. Actually, I'm going to cheat. Talking about Quake 3, if you get Quake 4 on the Xbox 360, it comes with a bonus disc. This bonus disc has a bunch of, bonuses, but the bonus that I cared about was Quake 2 in perfect 1080p, 60 frames a second. As this bonus disc. Now, what's cool about this is I paid $0 for this because I went to try and buy this at the local game exchange, and I asked him, hey, does this Quake 4 box come with the Quake bonus disc? And he opened it up and he was like, none of these have, he had a couple, none of these include the bonus disc. Well, I can't just sell the bonus disc. Here you go. So thank you, Game Exchange. Now I'm going to go back and buy a bunch, actually I did, buy a bunch of other stuff from them to say thank you for hooking me up with this. So, Quake 4 bonus disc, who cares about Quake 4? Actually, Quake 4 is a pretty good game. But what I was really looking for, being retro, was Quake 2. Quake 2. And it runs wonderfully on this. So that transitions, that was technically an Xbox 360. The next system I'm going to talk about is the original OG Xbox. Now, anyone who knows me knows I give the original OG Xbox a bit of a hard time, but there are a couple of cool games that came out for it that were exclusively to Xbox. The best version of, I think, Soul Calibur 2 was on the Xbox. Ninja Gaiden was on the Xbox. I'm not a Halo guy, but you know, whatever. It had some really good games. There are a couple things that I missed. As I said, I was really into Sega Naomi hardware. And another piece of arcade hardware was something called the Sega Chihiro, I think is how that is. And it had some exclusive Sega arcade games too. And that arcade hardware was essentially an Xbox with double the memory. So some of those games that you can play in the arcade were Outrun 2. Now, Outrun 2, again, pennies on the dollar. This game was like 30 cents. Okay, maybe not 30 cents, but it was very inexpensive. But I love you kind of see a trend with all these racing games that I've been buying. I guess I like racing games more than I say that I do. Anyway, Outrun 2 is an actual successor to Yu Suzuki's original Outrun from back in '86 or whenever that was. And it's a fantastic racing game. Fantastic racing game. And you'll see here that it's complete. So, yeah, this is exactly, I'm gonna say it's gonna be arcade perfect because, again, the Sega Chihiro arcade hardware is an Xbox with double or quadruple the memory. Same thing. So, Outrun 2. And another super fun Sega game, and again, I guess I like racing games more than I say that I do, is Crazy Taxi 3. It's got some crazy money. You ready? Yeah. Which, those songs were changed on the Xbox 360 download. I don't. What is the name? Bad Nation or I don't. Help me out. Help me out with your white bands, folks. I don't know the names of these bands, but I really enjoyed those songs. But those songs are gone on the Xbox 360, Xbox Arcade Edition. But this is a sequel to that game, and it is crazy fun. Crazy fun. You see, this is a very complete package game with all this stuff. Guys, support your local game shop. This is where all this stuff comes from. Really cool. So Crazy Taxi 3, High Roller, more Crazy Taxi action, more tracks, more characters, more places to go, more ridiculousness, awesome soundtrack. This game is a ton of 90s racing fun. And again, it should be arcade authentic because the hardware's the same and only on Xbox. So, we've talked about Xbox, Dreamcast. We had some N64 and PlayStation 1 games. The last system I wanted to talk about for retro stuff is the Wii U. Now, this need came from the fact that I noticed that I had a ton of these games digitally, but I didn't have them physically. So that's no good. I guess Nintendo was doing promotions, and I'm like, oh, I'll buy that. But, you know, my Wii U could conk out at any second. My kids play that thing. So I want to get some physical editions of these games. So here we have Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. These might have come from GameStop or maybe local pawn stops. But, you know, the disc is there, everything's intact. And you use the stylus of the gamepad to draw this ribbon, this rainbow, and guide Kirby, who's a little squishy ball, through these courses. It's a ton of fun. And you know, my kids are getting a little bit older, they're playing games more, they're enjoying them more. I wanted to make sure that I had this. So, Kirby's Rainbow Curse. And again, super cheap. Couldn't say no to that. Now this one I did not have a digital. No, wait, yeah, I did have this digitally. This again was one of these specials. Paper Mario Color Splash. This is a great RPG. Again, I'm thinking of my kids when they want to play through like their first role-playing game, which probably Pokemon, but this will be right up that alley next. And this is a lot of fun, All the Paper Mario games are a lot of fun, even dating back to the original Super Mario RPG. So, beautiful graphics, fun gameplay, Paper Mario, and again, complete in box. Paper Mario. Now, this one I'm kind of embarrassed that I had to pick this up physically. Pikmin 3. I would have bet $7.45 that I owned Pikmin 3, a physical edition. I would have bet anything because I know I played it. I know I played this game. Actually, I think my wife played this game. I think I remember her watching her play Pikmin 3. But apparently, it was the digital version. I think it was a promo if like you signed up for whatever service or something. You got to pick a game. So, Pikmin 3. So now I have a physical copy of Pikmin 3. And again, this was like $2. This was so inexpensive. But if you've ever played a Pikmin game or never played a Pikmin game, you're this guy, Captain, I don't know if you're Captain Omar. You're Captain somebody. Oh, there's 3 of them here. You're these 3 guys, and you control these Pikmin. And it's a strategy game, and you guide them to do things, build bridges, attack enemies. The graphics, even to this day, are absolutely stunning. It's kind of like it's outdoors, and it's just shot beautifully, and the colors and reflection and water effects and practical effects, it just looks so good and it's so much fun. So yeah, I had to make sure that I had a physical copy of Pikmin 3 to the collection. Another game that I had digitally but didn't, it's a Nintendo promo thing, and I keep running out of these things. I don't get the physical editions. This is NES Remix Pack. This is the original NES Remix game and NES Remix 2. And what NES Remix was, I had this on the 3DS, is a whole bunch of Nintendo games remixed. So you have like Link going through, like you can see some of this, Link going through Donkey Kong and trying to get through levels, or Samus in a Super Mario level. And you have various challenges, like as Mario, run through and defeat 15 enemies in 10 seconds, things like that. And it was a ton of fun to have with me in my pocket on my 3DS. And it was really cool to have on the Wii U, so the bigger screen, and it had all the same games and a couple extra bonus things, like a World Champion mode. So yeah, NES Remix. And finally, the last game that I had a digital copy of but didn't have a physical copy of, I really want to make sure this occurred, is DuckTales. Ooh. Tales of Daring Do back into DuckTales. So, this version of DuckTales Remastered. Complete in box. I don't think it comes with a pen. I don't remember seeing a pin when I was playing this, but DuckTales. So DuckTales Remastered was delisted, and I already had the game digitally, so like, you know, whatever. But again, my Wii U is not the most stable thing, gets thrown around by the kids. This game is, while not as fun as the original NES game, it's a lot of fun. It's cool, pretty graphics, nice, amazing catchy music, remix catchy music. But the music on the original Capcom game on Nintendo is still some of the best music that you can get in a 8-bit video game. So, this one also has really good music, really good graphics. The gameplay, I'm gonna be real, gameplay is not as good as the original NES game. It just is not. But it does not mean that it's a bad game, a terrible game. And my kids like DuckTales. Who doesn't like DuckTales? So I want to make sure I had a physical version of this now that it was gone. And it really wasn't that expensive. This one I got on Amazon, and the first one I got, once again, I didn't read the fine print. It came with just a disc. Like, no. So I tried again and again. My local game stores came through with the box edition. So there you go, DuckTales. Woo! And that is my retro game unboxing edition. So guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I appreciate you going down nostalgia lane for some of these awesome games. I think they're awesome games, some of these cool games. So you gotta tell me, what are some classic games that you should probably pick up, that you haven't picked up in a while, haven't played? Always looking to complete your collection. What are you looking for? Should we officially make a petition for October to be Retro Month? I think so. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Or do any of these games you want to get some of them yourself now that you've seen them, be like, oh yeah, that game was the bomb. Ferrari F35 Child Challenge. Oh, Virtual On, sweet. So let me know. Check it out. Look at this. Now I'm excited to go play some of these things once again, now that I've been talking about them. What should I play next? Thank you for watching this unboxing edition, gaming edition of Near Mint Condition. Please like, subscribe, share your subscription with your friends. Smash that notification button. We appreciate every single one of your subscriptions. And remember, gamers who play together stay together. So love one another, keep gaming, and thank you very much. Peace. DuckTales.